Big up to the whole Universatile Music crew. Thank you both to Universatile Music and the Blunt Club for your sponsorship of On the Flip Side Radio. Welcome to On the Flip Side Radio with Catalyst and DJ Organic. DJ Organic, welcome to the show. And it's always good to see you, and it's always great chopping it up with you, man. How you doing? Let's go ahead and kick things off with Sunday School Beats.
Sunday School Beats was an idea that came about in pandemic, by lockdown, and just looking to do something creative. But it stems from something kind of from a long time ago. I had so for years now I've been collecting religious records. Out digging for records at all the dig spots, the places that I go dig for records, because I love digging for old records, like we all do, right? And I started to they can get really slim out here, so like you can't find stuff. There's a lot of times you're not finding stuff or whatever. And years ago I had this sort of epiphany about religious records. There's guaranteed to be a Firestone Christmas record and some sort of religious record in every Goodwill, every sort of thrift spot that you go to. And not finding, hitting the same spots 3 and 4 times a day and not finding stuff. I just was always seeing these piles of like Christian records, like Christian, whether it be gospel stuff, which is great, but then like also like funny, like kids Christian stuff, or records for worship, or like Christian rock bands and stuff like that. And there's so much stuff. And it occurred to me that it was like, there's so much of this stuff and nobody's really checking for anything in here. You see it and you just pass it, but you don't even take consideration to think that there might be something in there you can sample, or some stuff you can sample. So years ago, I just started buying them. They're just cheap. And when I wasn't finding anything, that itching of like, I'm digging and I'm itching to take something home and listen to it and discover something, I just started buying them. And I'm not a religious man, so this is my little tagline. I say I'm not a religious man, so I'm not here to preach, but I'm also not trying to disrespect anybody. It was just a matter of there being such an abundance of this music, and because nobody was really checking for anything inside these records to sample or anything, I started buying them. So I have tons of them. Like I started collecting them and stockpiling them away. With the cause of one day making like a series. I was going to do like a beat tape series out of them or something, right? Or like do an album of them, or do like a series of them and stuff. I had made a mixtape, an actual DJ mixtape, with a selected few of them that had like, that I knew were crazy. Like, cause there's some that there's some that are on people's radars that I have. Not all of them are on people's, there's a few that are standouts that I have. So I made like a really cool kind of DJ mixtape years ago. I put it on Soulstrut hosted it for like a couple years, but I never made beats out of any of this stuff. So cut to this year, pandemic, and I was like, fuck, I want like a project, you know what I mean? So I decided that I was going to dig into them. So they're all just stuffed into like the top shelf of that. There's like a handful of crates, and they're all just shoved in there, sort of no order or anything. So I just was doing like a rhythm roulette. If you're familiar, for anybody out there's familiar with rhythm roulette, where they just do the so it was sort of like that. Like I just would kind of grab one randomly, make a beat, put it on, needle drop it, find something, sample it, make a beat up. So I did like 6 of them, and then it occurred to me, I was like, I should open this up to everybody and just let whoever wants to join this thing come in. So I turned it into like an interactive beat making sandwich challenge. So that's ultimately the backstory and how now we're caught up with Sunday School Beats. So it just kind of the participation has been steady, which I'm grateful for. I didn't think anybody was going to join the first one. I thought maybe 2 people would jump on the first one. It's we're not shattering numbers in terms of participation, but the participation has been steady, which is all I can ask for. And it's just been like this, and it's only going to just go like this, hopefully. I don't really get anything out of it at this point. It's still in the early stages. I'm not making money from it. I'm not really, it's just it was just a great thing. And I like to see people's interpretations of it. It's just a cool idea. I really took off. but credit where credit's due. I got to say that my partner Ilal decided to. Not only was he a participant, but he really wanted to make it like a podcast. He was like, we should talk about this and turn this into a beatcast, a podcast. We should call it beatcast, and then we can sort of do like a, not like where we're critiquing people's beats, but like just showcasing them. Everybody's for the week. Have a special guest on to like to talk about it. And then, we did like a run of t-shirts, and we have some hats right now for sale. And so like slowly but surely we're like growing it and making it bigger. But it really just started off with me doing my own kind of, just my own little beat challenge. And then I just wanted to get my friends and people that I know that make beats that are extremely talented involved, and let everybody get involved with it. So now anybody can join. So if you're out there watching, you can join. Just go to djorganic.com. Yeah, man.
I've seen some of the homies, post their beats. One of the homies, Pixter One, who we both know from Blunt Club and Drunken and
Yeah, for sure.
It looks like it's really catching fire. That's tight. Speaking of Pixter One and the Blunt Club, I mean, this is kind of where back in the day our paths crossed, Don.
Yeah. I was talking about this yesterday with Action as part of the, as Furious Styles is having their 27 anniversary this weekend.
Right.
So we were, he had asked me questions. I did an interview with him yesterday, and he has asked me about my first interaction with Furious Styles, and it goes back to Blunt Club days, and House, and me and Dumper had a mutual friend, and that mutual friend I was out with one night, and he ran into Dumper. That mutual friend introduced me to Dumper as DJ Organic. Dumper remembered me from that, and he was like, hey, I got a couple guys. I just started this thing called Blunt Club. And it's so I think it was only about 6 months in. Priceless in. Hyder was unavailable. Hyder had joined him at the beginning, was unavailable. Karma who had joined him at the beginning, was unavailable. So Dumper was just out a DJ. Jules was hosting. It was before Emerge jumped on. And Dumper was like, look, I got a host, I got a spot, I got artists, I got all these people. 6 months in at this thing called Blunt Club, but I don't have a DJ. You should just come next week and do a set. And I basically just showed up and was... I basically just showed up, and from then on I was there for. This is where it gets tricky. I don't know how long I was on for, because I left and then came back, but I was there. Yeah, I was there pretty much almost at the beginning, man, for a good while.